Toilet humor. John and Rob will talk about comedy on the toilet and toilet humor. Toilet humor. It's good to see you. How you doing?
Oh, yeah, it's just great. Every day is better and better and better. And,
But who are you? Who
huh?
are you? Where's Black? I don't know who this person is. This is scaring me a little bit.
Yeah, it's been really wonderful. And every day is just more filled with hope. It's fucking believable.
Hope and change.
Yeah,
Like,
really. It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is unbelievable. I watch, it's well worth watching it if you really want to get depressed. Ken Burns's American Revolution. I watched the first 20 minutes last night and I was like, Jesus Christ. I mean, and then I'm thinking they didn't even teach half this shit in high school. I mean, really, I mean, the stuff that actually would have, the other thing missed, it would have been interesting because it was the way what these people were doing, regular people. But it's kind of an astonishing, it's much more astonishing in retrospect. I mean, and then in what we're doing, but, it's this, and also why you learn history, you fucks. Jesus Christ.
That's what Ken Burns should have called it, right? This is why you learn
Yeah.
history, you fucks. This is what Ken Burns should have called the documentary. This is why you learn history, you fucks.
that's his next one. That's his next one.
How are you guys doing?
Good, good. I don't know if you know this. I moved to France. So I'm in France now, which has been really nice. I'm enjoying that.
Well, fuck
And
you. What am I
what the fuck?
doing this for?
I don't.
Pardon your French, Lewis.
Why are you even in America? You should get out, man. You're
Mhm.
retired now. I know this, so you can get out. You can get out. You can retire.
Yeah, but I have things I have to do. My university took all my writing, so I can't really. I'm not lugging it to fucking another country. I mean, I would have. There are places I would have gone. Where in France are you?
The South in Montpellier. You ever been?
I've probably been near there. I've been in Provence, so
Yeah, it's near. Yeah,
it's
it's nice.
gorgeous.
It's a
Lewis,
nice lifestyle.
I think you should
Free
move,
healthcare. It's
move,
And
I
by
think
the
you should
way,
move.
socialism good.
How
And
did you end up there?
so I was living in Ireland, right?
Yeah,
For
that I
like 5
remember.
years. Yeah, and I got my citizenship, and then like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, my wife's like, I can't stand the weather here. We have to move, and I'm like, no, I like it here. But so we spent a year going to different places with good weather, like Portugal and all through Spain. Found the south of France. So I was like, this is cool. Kept coming back, trying to find the right place for us, and found this town. And the town's amazing. And you should come out. I know that if you're ever going back on the road again, going through France, we'll look after you over here. It would be
John,
amazing to have you.
I
So,
think you're on the lamb, John. You're like a slow-moving Jason Bourne.
all right. Here's the deal: student loan debt, 175 grand for 3 years of school.
There we go.
Yeah, I've defaulted on that shit 20 years ago, and yeah, so that's it. Now I just come here, and then they don't care about credit here. They just
Councilman
give you stuff.
Polanski. No.
Wow, you're putting me in Polanski. Were you putting me Woody Allen, Polanski? Is that what you're doing? Really?
Talented director. What were you thinking of? What were you thinking of?
First of
Talented
all,
director.
those guys are talented and they're pedophiles. I'm neither of those things. So there you go.
You are a pattern-seeking creature. Sure. Okay. Whatever you say.
We wanted to ask you, like, first of all, like when I saw you posted on Facebook you're retiring, I was like, what? He's a joke. He's joking, obviously, but you're not joking. You retired, right? From the road, at least, not from like
No, I
work, but
retired from the road, which I realized nobody understood. And so
yeah,
if I had it to do again, I would approach it another way. And what I said was, but you can't explain, you can't seem to explain this shit to people. What I was really saying was, um, I'm not coming back every year and a half. The ball game's
yeah,
over. What I did was I did like God knows how many tours. Every time I did a tour, I gave it a name. We did a poster. We did, I like the posters we did. The guys I work with, my tour manager's great at it. He was a deadhead, so he gets the whole concept of that stuff.
yeah.
And so I didn't want to, and then also it kept bouncing back between the pandemic you do half the tour, then you have to stop, then you have to go back to finish the tour. And it was just, okay, so this is it. And in terms of that, and then, but there's other shit I want to do. It's not retiring. I mean, I'm still doing one or two shows a month. I didn't know if I was going to do shows, but then all of a sudden they're kind of going, "Hey, would you come back here?" Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. We didn't sell out last time. Let's not sell out this time. So, but
And well,
I'm at that really the age where where I'm doing casinos, which is fine. I like casinos. I've always liked casinos. I've always felt from the first time I went to Las Vegas, that's the audience that I
That's your
was
crowd,
looking
right?
for. Yeah.
Yeah. That's your crowd, right? The casino crowd.
Well, the Johnny Carson audience. I mean, they're from
yeah.
all over. I'm not going to find that anywhere else. I wasn't getting on television on that level, and so it was great to go play a variety of casinos out there where I was out there with the spectrum of fucking folks here, and then now it's just like uh, apparently the reason I'm doing casinos is just I draw people who kind of get it. They go there to spend a weekend, and they're not they're not crazy. They know how to go out without getting psychotic, and they have a dinner, and then they gamble. So it's like I appeal to them, even if I don't sell out. It's like I get people in who are gambling, doing the other stuff, and I go, great.
Well, it's good to have an audience where that actually have disposable income. I mean, not to be a dick about it. It's not like you're in the comedy cellar making $0 and like doing 5 minutes. So,
I mean, maybe
and you
maybe
earned it.
I think you appeal to people with a gambling addiction. This is something about you that's
Oh yeah,
irresistible.
no, there's any addiction really.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Is it actually a comedy
Any,
booking or recovery?
but it's been fun. I mean, it's like once or twice. So this month, this is like psychotic to me. So considering what I talk about in part, but the high they're doing a weekend in St. Louis. I've never played the casino out there. So there's a casino in St. Louis. I like St. Louis a lot. So I'm going up there for uh, a night, and it's the high rollers. They invited whatever. I don't know if it's MGM. I don't know who owns this place, but they invited high rollers, and they're flying them in from all over the United States. And I'm doing one night, and Gaffigan's doing the other night.
Oh wow, that's a great.
Wow.
That's great shows. That's amazing.
Yeah, so it's funny. It's a really I'm like going, okay. So we'll go do it. It'll be fun. I hope I get to spend a little time with him. I haven't seen him in forever. So
As a comic touring, or do you? I mean, do you typically hang out with the other comics, or is it more of a like a solo? Like you once you're off the stage, you want to decompress, or do you find that you hang out with other comics who are touring around you or with you?
nah, I generally just I'm done.
Yeah, I can
And
imagine.
I'm not, and a lot of the times there nobody else is really, working the town or the city. So, and I'm kind of, and then it's also like when I'm in, people are always like, how come you didn't come down? How come you don't go to the cellar? How come you don't go here? Because I was working 4 nights a week.
Yeah.
I didn't want to come back there. And plus, I was writing. I wrote on. I've written on stage, so I didn't need to go to work on my act because I was fucking doing that when I was on the road.
You're funny. We were just talking about you earlier, and I remember when I first started doing stuff with you, people who were working with me were like, "Is he going to be mad at me? Is he going to be angry? I'm scared." And I'll be like, "No, he's just sweet. Like you understand. He's like almost shy. He's like a pussy cat." So I want to talk about that. Like that's people don't know this. Like when you're not on stage, you actually aren't screaming at people. You're not angry all the time. Just it's just an act. Yeah, and that's
I've never seen such a big contrast between performance guy and regular guy, between you and the late great Gilbert
Oh
and
yeah,
Bobcat. I think you guys are in the running for like, really, is that the same guy voice?
it's really true.
You're
That's
Pussycat.
interesting. It's an interesting group to put us all together, but it's true. I knew Gilbert pretty well, and Bobcat. The amazing thing about Bobcat was when I worked with him a couple of times, where we did one like more than that, about three or four shows. But when I first worked with him out on in some in Staten Island, I can't remember where we were, some school, and he said, I don't. I said, oh, he was. I think he was just starting to direct or was acting. I said, um, you like that? You like that more? He said, yeah. He said, I'd rather really. At that point, he said, I'd rather direct. He said, I don't like doing this. I don't like being
Yeah.
that who I am out there. And I was like, wow, that's wild to make a choice like that. But then I saw him one night. I was at an outdoor venue at Summerfest in Milwaukee, and there was a guy yelling and screaming, and he wanted Bobcat's hat or something, some fucking thing, and Bobcat got the guy to take off all of his clothes down to his underwear. Just that was in that fucking voice, which I can't do. It was one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen, and I said, "Wow, that kind of explains why he really doesn't want to do this anymore."
Do you find that people who don't know you, who like come up to you, like they are either wanting you to do the like your act, or like are have a fear, like do you
Be
catch any weird stories like
angry.
that?
Be
Yeah.
angry.
What they do is
Yell.
they come up and say, "Will you sign something to my brother-in-law?" And his name's John, and then say "fuck you." And so I'd write "fuck you." And will you take a picture? Can we take a picture together? Yeah. And it's mostly just taking a picture. Can I take a picture of you? And will you give me the finger? So that's
Yeah.
kind of like, I mean, who thought?
Yeah.
That I'm going to be making a living by telling people to go fuck themselves. That's insane.
I
Taking that asshole
yeah.
seriously. That's what really pisses me off. I spent an entire life trying to get basically a career trying to, defang the word fuck and
Yeah.
make it affectionate. And that asshole comes along and tries to make it mean again. Fuck you, you fucking asshole.
I haven't watched like a million interviews with you, but I'm sure I know this story about you, and I'm sure you maybe have talked about that. If you have, just shut me down. But you started off in theater, right? You went to Yale. You were right. You were a playwright, and I know
Yeah.
that you were working. Yeah, and you were basically emceeing at the West Bank Cafe. Can you talk about that a little bit, because people don't know it, and I think it's a cool story.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, people, and once again, people. This is the part where they'll fall asleep when we talk about it. Even on stage, I say I'd like to. I'll talk with you about playwriting now because I like to see the audience completely lose interest in me. So, so
Well,
yeah,
say
I
fuck you a lot, like as you're telling the story. Like every three
Yeah, just
words, say
random
fuck you.
F bombs for no reason.
Yeah.
They don't fit on the story.
so I was. I ran a room with two other guys, Rand Forrester and Rusty McGee, and Rand was kind of was the director of the group, and I was the playwright, and Rusty did music, and we essentially did these shows there. And the whole thing to me was it was a place where I always, from the very beginning that I started writing plays, I knew for a fact that nobody was going to pay me to write a play. And that was the deal. And so I'm not going to go look for funding and all that bullshit. I'm just going to put the fucking play on and get people. Um, so initially, I'm at college and we did shows there, and I was getting, and this was the real, and I really liked doing it. It was, and I was getting just enough positive reinforcement to keep me going. That thing where it's not consistent, where they fuck a pigeon by, every so often they'll give him a pellet, and then 2 days later they give him a pellet and he's pounding his beak against it. Well, that's what playwriting was. I was like, oh, they like me again. So and I liked writing. I really did I liked writing plays, and and then I ended up going to. Then it was kind of the major positive reinforcement. Somebody told me, "Look, John, see, put him to bed." Oh, there he's back. See, I knew you'd go to sleep while I was talking. So,
Sorry, no, I just had to like I
No.
had to, my eyes were sleepy. It wasn't you. It's just I had like a thing, but I'm back. Kidding.
so, so
One
the
eye, James Lipton, was riveted
I
by the
got
tale.
the major thing I got was that I was uh, the major reinforcement was I got into the Yale School of Drama. So that at
Amazing.
that point was, um, it was huge in terms of theater and in terms of Meryl Streep was there at that point and was starting to be known, and it was known as the place. That's where you go if you're in theater. so I got in there, and that kind of just followed out. And I got to New York, and I started working. Found another space downtown called Sylvette's, which was this where I looked for a back room, find a place where people could come in and play. And down there, it was in the West Village. It was right around from the village gate in the bitter end, so you could. There were all these musicians around, like Susan Vega played there a couple of nights, and I'd find these people around who, a couple of them, Chris Whitley, who really was a remarkable young kid who was a phenomenal guitarist, like a Stevie Ray Vaughanish, and he came in and he would play there a ton, and so I could run the room if the guy would let me run the room. He didn't pay me for that, but if I was the bartender, I could run the room. So I would
Okay.
bartend, go out and MC, and then come back and bartend. And and so I had a room, and I had comics work there, and most of the comics who worked there actually went on to become writers. Bill Masters, who I don't know if you remember Bill, but he became a writer, and there were a few others that along the way, and we would try stuff there, and then from there, after I left there, I found we along with Rand had kind of hooked up with the West Bank, and we kind of took it over, and we did two new American one act plays every week. We did more new American one act plays than any theater in the country, to
Wow.
the interest of no one,
Yeah.
um, except for what was, the other thing was is in the time we were doing it, was like the early '80s. There were no places that people coming into New York who were graduating theater schools who wanted to do theater. Uh, there was hardly anything on Broadway. There was hardly any off, but there was nothing, and it was kind of a bust time in terms of theater. And so we ended up getting all of these people who normally would be, might be working in some small theater or another, and they would bring in shows. So Aaron Sorkin wrote his first major play, and the first time he jumped uh, from that point, A Few Good Men within a year and a half was done on Broadway.
Wow.
So that was, we had Alan Ball who wrote,
Yeah.
uh,
American Beauty
yeah,
and
yeah,
True Blood. Yeah.
yeah. He was one of the first ones there. So we had these people kind of come in. Uh, you know, Edie Falco worked there. If you named a person uh, early on in the '80s who was coming into New York or just kind of getting started, they appeared there. It was crazy. And
Did you ever hang out at the Cafe Central by any chance?
no, I
Do you
didn't.
remember? Yeah. Yeah. Did I tell you that? So my cousin, his name's Sheila Jaffe, and she's a casting director, but she used to
Oh
basically
yeah,
be a server there. And her friend Peter, who I've known, become friendly with, he owned it. But yeah, like a lot of like Bruce Willis was the bartender when she was there, and
yeah,
and
Wow.
Chris Walken was a customer, and then she.
yeah. No,
Bruce Willis.
the
Bruce
owner
Willis
of
is the
my
bartender.
the
Chris
owner of the
Walken is the
place.
customer. I want a
Huh?
scotch and soda.
Stop talking over Lewis.
I
Fuck
want to do
you.
best movie impressions.
The owner of the restaurant, Steve Olson, who owned the place, he would go up there. It was like
Yeah.
it was the at that point it was the cocaine capital of the world.
I'm gonna bring
That
that up
place.
with Sheila. I feel
Incredible.
like I'm sure it was. You were talking about West Bank, and you own it now, right? Or do you still own it, or no?
No, no, no. I never owned it. I just was involved with the help. I kind of helped keep it afloat, but
Yeah.
he kept the ownership. I mean, then he'd work, but I would kind of give him help him out if he needed help,
Yeah.
but now it's been somebody else took it over, which kind of sucks because it was really I would have actually in this kind of whatever I'm doing, which is this kind of half-assed retirement where I'm still working because I'd lose my mind.
Yeah.
I'd have done stuff down there. I'd have
Yeah.
my plan was that that was kind of like the clubhouse. I mean, if I wanted to see somebody, That was the other reason I never went to clubs. If I got back, I'd spend 2 nights there and see everybody I wanted to see from the theater or from, folks that I knew from the neighborhood. So it was like
Yeah.
where I'd go to hang out and see everybody.
Are you do you still go down there at all? No, or now that it's the guy sold it,
No,
it's no longer your
that
place.
it's a horrible story. I won't even go into it. The guys took it over, and they're not really. I don't. They're kind of. They badmouth what. They really kind of badmouth what had occurred there in some respects, and they consider themselves the saviors of it. And it was really. I mean, he kept it. He kept a restaurant running in New York for like 49 years.
Which is unheard of. That's like, yeah, that's unheard of.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and well known, and the people who showed up, and then the people. I mean, Christ, it was like Al Pacino came there and ate, and Sean Penn when he was in town, and and it was one of those places. Somebody in the theater. Now it's kind of like, oh, look who come, look, you can come see all these people. Then it was like, we're all this. Don't fucking bother them. And
Yeah.
everybody kind of knew it. So it was a place you could come and go. Oh, I saw them there, but people didn't bother them.
You're saying that, so like you never thought about stand up. Wanted to be a playwright, but you met comics. Did you meet comics suddenly like I want to do that, or it wasn't even that at all?
Oh no, I started doing stand up when I was down in Chapel Hill. There was a club down there that I worked at, and that I went into because my people thought I was funny, and I would be the guy who told these funny stories. And then I hung out with this band, this friend of mine. It was in a band, and they invited me to come and perform between shows, and I started doing that, and did 6 shows, and then got to DC and was working a job there. And there was, this is 73, 72, 71. And so I go down there and I start. There's a place called the Brickskeller. It's mostly
I love
folk
the
singers.
Brickskeller. All the
Yeah,
beers, they have like hundreds of beers, right? Like hundreds of, like the biggest beer menu in like anywhere.
yeah. No, it was, and they had a room. It's,
Yeah.
in DC, and it was in Washington, and they they had an audition for comics, and I went and just auditioned, and I'd only performed like 6 times, 8 maybe. I was terrible, and I had stuff. I mean, I talked about sex. That's what I talked about, my sex life. That was my beginnings of stand up. I had 3 or 4 really great stories.
Unpolitical.
Nothing political. That wasn't even. It wasn't even political in terms of the sexes. There was just sex.
It's a different kind of fuck you.
It-
It's a different take on the
Exactly.
fuck you.
so I went and did the. I went and auditioned, and me and this other guy got it, and so I ended up working. I did 3 shows every other weekend for
That's how you got good.
Friday and Saturday night, and I learned. I did a little. I mean, I kind of just I had no idea. There was nobody. Nobody. It wasn't like hanging out with a bunch of comics. It was just me
Yeah.
doing. And because I never really saw the other guy was coming in on the other weekend, we never saw each other, and I kept doing that, and then I would just do it on the side, and then even when I got to New York before the other stuff happened, where I was running these clubs and stuff, I ended up. I would get a theater that had like Monday night it's open, and say, I'm going to bring like 100 people in here, and can we how would you like, would you do that? And they said, okay, we'll sell drinks and da 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 da. And I would just go on stage with a bunch of papers and just, you know, uh, notes and stuff like that, and then talk for an hour and like 75 minutes. That was crazy. It was
Was
Heard
your
you
act
out.
similar to what it is now? Or was it like, pissed, like a misanthropic, pissed off at the world, like, or was it different? Was it the
No,
same or
it
different?
was just kind of like I would if these guys who were running for it was like there were 5 guys running to be the Democratic nominee. I wrote a speech for each of them, so I
Oh
do what
wow.
their speech was, and so it was all scattershot because I wasn't thinking about doing it other than all I was giving a shit about was getting my writing out there.
Right.
And I didn't really know, and I wasn't writing it to like, oh, if I do this, I'll get on television. I was just
You
wanting
wanted to
my,
be like you wanted to be Aaron Sorkin or like David Mamet, or like you
yeah,
wanted to be,
yeah,
yeah,
but much nicer and not as
yeah.
egotistical. So,
Right, and with dialogue that
Please,
actually
here
people
comes
would
out.
actually say, dialogue that real people would actually use
Actual
real
real.
words. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I like Aaron. I like David Mamet. This is a great one. Was when I was going to Yale. It was I was 20. I got into there. Was 25, 24. 20, well, actually 20, 20, 25. And Mamet shows up. He's going to be. They had these writers and some really, ones that well, Arthur Kopit, who was well known, kind of out of the loop of was for a playwright, well known, and Mamet had just hit, and he was made one of our kind of. He would meet with us once a week, and I was his age, and he was such a profound asshole that
Yeah.
it was
You know,
beyond. It
yeah.
was, and this wasn't even with the politics. This was like he would he'd speak Russian. He would say, and Stanislavski said, and then he would do it in Russian. And
He's
and
pretentious,
then
pompous. Yeah.
yeah, and then my
Hey,
girlfriend at
wait,
the
so
time said, "Do you speak Russian?" And he went, "No." And she said, "Fuck you." So that was we all had that. Go fuck yourself, you idiot.
yeah.
He
So
gave
I
us a
just saw.
reading list. He gave us a reading list. Another friend of mine in the class brought the reading list in and he said, "You know what I think your reading list? You've ripped it up. I'm not
Yeah.
reading Boleslavsky." And who even knew Boleslavsky? I knew Stanislavski. There
Yeah.
was there was a Boleslavsky.
he was like the less talented Slavsky. He was like he's the cute one. The cute Slavsky, they called him.
Yeah. I just saw him like he kind of like Dennis Miller, Rob. He just kind of like went super right wing. I don't know if you've seen like him.
Yeah, I know.
He's
I've seen
like,
this. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And I was like,
exactly.
wow, like this guy was supposed to be like Mr. Liberal America, and he's just a fucking another right wing dick. That
Yeah,
pisses me off a little bit. Yeah, but
He's so
yeah, but
angry.
that was later. I mean, this was just as
Yeah,
a
much
teacher.
later.
I said it was it was one of these dopey quotes when the year was when we were done with the class. I thought, I'm 26, he's 26. I said he's the only person I've ever known who's actually a 26-year-old.
yeah,
Nobody's 26. You're either you're in your early 20s or your late 20s. Nobody's 26. To give you an idea of an asshole, he's talking to a group of playwrights. Between the six of us, we don't have enough money to buy a pot to piss in. And he goes, "Well, in order to get a play done in this country, you need to send out those plays, and that'll probably cost you about 2,000 a year."
Hmm.
And,
yeah.
and this was back when 2000 was like, we're
10.
talking mid 70s. When 2000 was 10,000, it was like, "Are
Yeah,
you fuck you?"
yeah.
I love how David Mamet says things that cause you to say David Mamet dialogue back at him just out of rage. Something I wanted to ask. I'm just intrigued by the return to playwriting because to me, Lewis, you were one of these people who has actually found a way to literally express what's on your mind directly to your public in a way that almost no other like performer like you not only have developed a voice, but you have an audience, and whether it's on the Daily Show or on the tour. But so I'm curious what you feel like playwriting helps you express that you can't express already because it seems like you're already out there expressing. So what new is it? What new tools is it bringing to you, or old tools, I
Well,
guess?
it's like I want to. It allows a wider, a different. It's a great question, actually, and I always, it really is. I always feel when somebody says it's a great question, they're saying that to buy time, and
Yeah,
I
totally.
got it. I got it for you. I got your answer. Nuance. It allows you to bring nuance. Did I get it? Did I get it? Yes.
Not your creativity lawyer. He tells you
yeah,
what to say.
nuance. That's good.
Thank you.
No, it's to get another. It's kind of like I don't know how else to describe this. To describe what I'm trying to do, but it's like I've I've got the play that I'm going to work on when I'm done, which I started to work on during the pandemic, and then didn't I wanted to keep going on and didn't do it was I wanted to write a new version of Our Town. So I
Yeah.
wanted to
Oh,
take Our Town and
yeah.
and take it to the next step. So and I've started it, and it may end up just being a monologue because I don't think the way it's been written, I can't get the stage manager off the stage. So he won't. And I was writing it for a friend of mine who uh, is still am. It's Mark Lynn Baker,
Oh
Oh
who's
yeah.
yeah.
the guy from Perfect
Perfect
Strangers.
Strangers, yeah.
We're very close. And I thought, God, he'd be great to be the stage
He would
manager.
be great at that. That's great. I can see him doing that. He's got that kind of pathos and
Everyman
sort
kind
of
of vibe to
yeah,
him. Yeah, like
He does.
yeah.
weird.
And,
Yeah.
and and he won't, but he won't leave the stage. And I've written about. I've got to sit down when I'm kind of excited about going back to it. Um, is he won't get off the stage, and they start. The guy in the lighting booth yelling at him. You can hear the actors
Ah,
backstage yelling at him. They're putting they're putting in the sound cues. He won't. He will. He's ignoring them.
that's
So
great.
it's so I think it's that kind of thing too. People come in expecting because I started it thinking, fuck, and I still think it needs the next generation of Our Town. What is it? Um, but I but it isn't. We're not there yet because we got to get through this phone shit to get to, to the next whatever the next thing is, and and also it's it allowed me to to to, uh, to just tell a story in another way, and it allowed me to find other voices to express. And the real reason I realized honestly that I got into it was just that what always I found astonishing about theater more than any other medium was is that a group of people. Someone would write something, and a group of people would gather to create with the person who wrote it and the actors another reality, and they
Yeah.
go live in that other reality. And outside of drugs, there's nothing else like it, except you got
Nice.
to deal with the people who are in theater. And I love a lot of them, and a lot of them are really are in an
Must be fucking
outpatient
crazy.
clinic. Yeah,
But, that's interesting because I sometimes think about people think about theater or film or anything as like escapism for the audience, but you're talking about escapism for the performers. It's a way for you guys to sort of escape into some other world for an
yeah,
hour or something.
yeah. And then I've got a. It'll be interesting. I'm going to go down there. I've got a bunch of stuff that I wrote, and I've not read it since. And at the time, even I knew it was never really what it should be. And
When are you doing your next table read? Let's get you some actors in New York. I'm gonna hook you up. Let's
Yeah,
go.
well,
You know everybody. Get it done. Let's go.
I've
Deadline.
got. I have. I have five one acts that got published. I still think they're ahead of their time. I still think they're 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 very surreal on some levels. It's like there's like the kind of things I was writing, and I kind of am trying to get them done now. Finally, um,
Yeah.
and is like one is there's a it's a couple that's in bed, and it's an actress, and her husband is the agent, and there's two phones, and it's literally the whole thing takes place between them, and he's on the
That's great.
phone trying to
yeah,
get her a deal. And it's weird stuff. I mean, it's all kind of uh, different. So I'm trying to get that done, and I like writing one acts because I can go a step further and be surreal. And that's
So
it. I
yeah.
want to
yeah.
write some one acts, and I want to go through what's sitting in that whole box of things that I've written and come up with another book. I
So
want to write again. You guys
this is
both
me being
write. You
yeah.
you get it.
This is me being naive. So one act is it just one? It's one look. It's one set piece. It's one. Is it this? Is there like I mean? Do you have like explain to me the difference between? I mean, I understand
You have
structure
more than
from
one
like the
scene in one act. Is that what you're
yeah.
asking?
Is it just a scene or is it more than just a scene? It's more of a is it a sketch or I mean, how long would a one act be?
The one act can be I do the 25-minute one act. But one act can be anywhere from like 20 minutes, 15 minutes to 45, 50.
And
Um,
it's always one location usually, or you move.
you can do whatever you want with a one act.
Okay.
I mean, you have, in a sense, a one act gives you a lot of freedom because you don't have to sustain it over 90 minutes. So you're only
Yeah.
sustaining a kind of reality that, at least for me, is shorter. The only one I've known, there's been a couple of guys who were able to do, like Beckett, was able to do it so that he can go 90. He can go, Godot starts to make sense now. I mean, that's really
Yeah.
fucked up. It just, if you look at it again, Jesus Christ, this is too close. It's so, but the one act really allows, for me, it allows a kind of freedom in terms of being just pick the nuttiest idea and I can follow it out. And
Yeah.
so I've got about three or four of those that are sitting around. To give you an idea, but like a one act, I wrote one is my favorite. It's the best thing I ever wrote. It's two guys who are now I've done it with a male and female. Uh, it's just two chairs. There's a coffee table, and they're having. It's called The Deal, and the two of them are in an office that's so high there is no view, and pigeons suffocate at that height, and uh, and they basically are cutting a deal, and you never know what the deal is. You never know what it is they're discussing, and um, and they go through this whole thing and then finally decide that they're going to cut the deal, and it ends to give with the two of them squeezing each other's balls, screaming, "It's a deal! It's a deal!"
That's funny.
Spoiler alert! Spoiler
Yeah.
alert
Well,
for the end.
So you can do that kind of thing, where in a sense there's a sketchiness, there's a sketch to that, but it's so dark
yeah, and
that
also
it's
like
not a
with the
sketch.
sketch. Yeah, with the sketch, you have to get in, hit jokes as fast as you can, and get out without without bore. This sounds like you can get deeper character stuff. You can so it's you get to have a premise, but then also take your time to explore the one thing, and yeah, so you
Yeah,
have.
Do you find Lewis, do you find that like because you have such a like distinctive voice that people are taken aback that you're not doing like the Bobcat discussion. You're not doing the Lewis Black thing. You're doing different emotions. Like we all have our shtick. Like John is like the sad French alcoholic. Me, it's like
No, no,
the
no. That's not a shtick.
the
That's just the
seductress
truth.
of ladies. We all have our reputations. But are people off put? Could like when you have something that's tender or maybe a different kind of emotional tone to it than the Lewis Black
well,
one.
I don't get them done enough for it to happen. So, now I'm finally going, okay, you fucking dicks, can you fucking do this? Here's what's going to happen. I've said this to 100 theaters. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to do something this season, and it's going to be a piece of shit. So, why not pick my piece of shit?
Well, and also pick your shit, and then you can actually promote it properly. Like you actually have a platform, and you can get people out to see your. Not I'm not saying yours is a piece of shit, but I'm saying
Yeah,
like
no,
you. Yeah,
but even if it is a piece of shit, you're picking, something's going to flop. At least pick my flop because here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come in. I'm going to spend an evening. We're going to do a fundraiser. Then you're going to earn the money that can make
yeah.
you get paid for the fucking play.
Yeah.
So
So,
I'm sold. Are people biting? I would. That
no,
sounds like a good deal.
no, but but now I've got there's an agent that I found that finally, and I'm at that point where now it's like, oh, and he does this, yeah,
Yeah,
and he does card tricks.
yeah. Wait, so
It's
you're
like
telling me that you have an agent that actually does something instead of just leech? You're telling me
Yeah.
this? Can you share this person's contact with Rob and I? I'm just kidding. We'll cut this part out, Rob. So your manager
It
doesn't
turns
know.
out Lewis is actually a single and a half threat. He talks in most. Well, I did have a question for you also, which is like kind of like how you how you keep this performance at the level you do. Like, John and I get angry about lots of stuff, but we kind of sometimes we just dissipate the anger in, perhaps in alcohol or whatever. You have like an Olympic level level of maintaining and producing. Do you have like a daily regimen? Like how do you do you have a lifestyle? Like you don't sleep enough every night, you on purpose, you eat foods that make you
Low blood.
crazy. How do you keep up the level you work at?
No, that's I. Well, the level I work at now, at least I don't have to like fucking before. I mean, it was, uh, I never really, I mean, once I really was doing the tour and doing 150 shows in theaters, it was really literally, you know, um, take a nap, do the show, have dinner, no more than 2 drinks, maybe get drunk occasionally every 4 weeks, but not really, but maybe two, and really wine, 2 glasses of wine. And that was
Yeah.
it. And I'm out and I, you know, and try to calm down and then wake up the next day and basically just wander around whatever town I was in. But I didn't. And now it's a bit easier. Now I have a dog, and so now I have that whole thing of oh the dog's going to make you healthy by taking a walk. Fuck you. Okay,
That's
it
the
doesn't
worst.
make you
Hey,
healthy.
what kind of dog do you have? What'd you get?
I got a sheepdog and a poodle mix.
Is the
So
sheepdog a working dog?
he's a mini, not a micro. So he's a mini. He weighs about 35 pounds. He's got some of that in him.
Yeah.
That kind of keeping. I got to keep an eye on everything, but mostly I think he's, and I really begin to believe. I think he's who he is. That whole idea of reincarnation. He was somebody and came back and got stuck in this fucking costume because he does stuff that just makes he will literally sit next to me and watch TV for 15 minutes. No,
What's
I've
his
never
favorite
seen
show? What's he
anything.
like?
He watches golf, he'll watch basketball, he watches the news for 5, 10 minutes. A dog shows up on the TV, he loses his fucking mind, runs around and try to figure out where the dog came out. Why isn't the dog there? It's psychotic. But
You
he
know,
also will walk down the street and somebody is walking along who seems to be distressed. And the dog has a level of empathy I've never seen where he'll stop and stare at this person and kind of look and then wait for the person to pass and then he'll start moving again. It's insane.
You sound like you're in love, Lou. Like you sound like you
is he single?
I am. Well, what I like is that if if I wish that's the way we were as humans, because then well, I would have. I'd like to hang out that way. I mean, he's just. I mean, it's like having another person around. Only you don't have to listen to him talk.
and they don't nag you about financial shit or I get it. This is really good. I'm having
Yeah.
thoughts in my head right now.
I also wish with other humans that we greet each other by sniffing butts. I think this thing is more civilized.
Well, yeah. No, that whole thing in the morning is just beyond disturbing.
It's more honest than Tinder, I think, honestly, than online profiling. At least you get the
Oh.
goods right up front or right up rear.
How's New York right now? Is it hot or is it okay?
No, today it's a little. This week is pretty good. It's going to rain and stuff. So, but it's been not bad. It's been a stretch where it's actually been in the 70s and the low 80s and not a lot of humidity. So it's the break time. But New
Nice.
York is, the whole idea. Oh boy, we're back. Boy, the Knicks won. We're back. No, we're not. You fucking assholes. We're not back. We're not even
New
close.
York, New York is. I was there 2.5 maybe years ago for a commercial. I was there for 10 days, and I didn't. It was so, I once lived there for 10 years, and it was expensive, but it wasn't like it was so expensive. I was like shocked. I remember going to the bar after work and with my friend Mark, and I bought 2 drinks. It was $50, and I was like almost shake like what? And then I was walking away, and she's like, "That doesn't include the tip." I'm like, "Oh my god, I forgot tip." Like, so it's so expensive there right now. Is it still like? I mean,
Oh, it's
This is
too
John
expensive. It
Kesselman's
is
hot
too
take.
expensive, huh?
John Kesselman's hot take on New York. Expensive.
it's expensive, but
News
it's
director
real.
now. Exclusive content.
It's different expensive, Rob. You know that. It's very
But
expensive.
LA is like that too now. LA is you don't even expect it, and it's like that. It's like unmanageable, as you know. So.
Well, no,
Yeah, it's pretty great here.
you can beat here. You can beat it. There's all sorts of ways. There are bars that you can beat those prices in. You don't have to go. If you want to go to some place that has bathrooms, sure. You know,
If you want to eat food that's not out of a cart in Brooklyn, then yeah, there's
no,
restaurants that are
Okay,
no.
affordable.
There's
Bezos.
actually.
Okay.
I could give you a list of 10 or 12 places in New York where you could go eat and get drinks for a pretty reasonable price. That was one of the things about the West Bank because it was kind of a theater bar.
Yeah, so
There's a
it's
lot of
pricey.
people from theater that the prices were sane. I mean, that's what's missing now. There's still a few around. There used to be they were all over. If you worked in the theater, there were like 10 or 12 places for you to go.
I remember the Knickerbocker was the one when I was hanging with some guys in the lab, and that guy Steven ran it. I love that. He was great, and then he's gone last time. Yeah, the Knickerbocker. Am I saying it right? Knickerbocker, is that the one
Yeah,
that's like? Yeah, that
yeah.
place was
How
pretty
else
cool.
do you possibly say that?
I don't know, like the New York Knicker. I don't know. Like I was like, I got a look of like confusion on Lewis's face, and I'm like, am
No,
I
no,
not the Knickerbocker? Yeah.
that's just because I'm sitting on a toilet and not shitting. So
Oh, you're
that's where the
doing it. I
confusion.
didn't think you were going to do
By
it.
the way,
You
you're the
emailed me
first.
back saying that's not happening, and I was
Yeah.
like, hey, so look, we're on our toilets. It's so good.
Yeah, I'm
Isn't this
right
the most
downstairs.
clever idea you've ever heard, Lou?
Huh?
Toilet humor. Don't you get it? It's like
It works on
multi-layered.
1.5
I
levels.
know. I just was like, wow. I said, yeah, literally, I've known you two guys too long. I thought, they finally have literally lost their fucking minds.
That's
They,
right. We built rock bottom.
they've been driven. It's the last resort. What if we go and take a shit, and while we're doing it, we'll talk to somebody else taking a shit, and there's got to be money in that.
I see what's on the internet, and I feel like this is right in that sweet spot there. Like at least is what I'm seeing. So I just was trying to like game the market a little bit. You know what I mean? Perfect.
But I think we've had what 3 or 4 guests, and I think you're the first one who actually went full hog, or should I say
No,
committed
no,
to the ship? Oh,
Bill
got it.
Dawes
So,
went
okay,
full.
that's
Bill
fair.
Dawes went on the toilet. Yeah,
Did he really?
yeah.
Wow.
Bonnie
Now that
McFarlane, no. Mark McKinney, no, but he brought toilet paper and a toothbrush. Who else? Who else? Yeah,
Bonnie McFarlane just did it from her living room so she could show off how nice it was.
what's McKinney doing?
so he's in Toronto. He's doing a screening of Brain Candy that he was excited about. He was going to go to, but also like the people he created that show Slings and Arrows with. They have a they have a show they've been trying to get made for like 10 years that he's going to have a reading for. So it sounds like he's just kind of like doing what we're all doing, like
Yeah,
He's always
stuff,
in the spirits, that guy.
stuff before stuff.
yeah. I like him a lot.
Yeah,
We did. Here's what we did
he's
at the
amazing.
West Bank. We did the run of the Kids in the Hall.
Yeah,
Their first
Oh,
run in the States was done with us, and then they went on to do HBO.
I didn't
wow.
realize that. Like Rob and I both have worked with all like they were
Almost all
hugely
of them.
influential for me and Rob. I was in college when they came out, and it was like I want to do comedy. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool that you guys spotted that and like were able to bring it
Yeah,
over. Very
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, they
And
were
McKinney is like I told him I have a little bit of a comedy crush on him. Like he's just
insane.
very fucking good
Mhm.
and so nice too, which is
Yeah.
that's
They
a
all
bonus.
were. They were great. They're a great group.
Yeah, yeah,
McKinney is surprisingly not bitter for someone who's been in showbiz as much as he has.
Yeah, but Canadian. He's not
yeah.
allowed to
Super
be.
cool. That's right. You're always apologizing. And when I used to live
Mhm.
near Kevin, he'd be like, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, sorry." I'm like, "You're apologizing for apologizing. Just stop fucking saying I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, sorry, sorry." Got anything? Any other news for us? Any other scoop? Any? Yeah, I'm fishing.
Just I just did. I just came. Just finished this past week. Last night was I did a run for a week of a thing called celebrity autobiography. I don't know if you heard of it.
I've seen it actually 20 years
Yeah, I've
ago. I
heard of
saw
it. Yeah.
Rachel Trash, and I think I saw you do it. Like you read someone's book, like Burt Reynolds or something.
Yeah,
You
and
read the
then
ridiculous. Yeah.
so we did. It was an hour and a half. They tried to put it on Broadway, and it was not going to work on Broadway. It needed to be in like a maybe 200-seat house. It needs to be in a smaller house, and it just it didn't fly. It closed. I got in. I was supposed to do 2 weeks. I came in last Sunday, and the day I came in, the closing notice went up. So I got really all of the possible Broadway experience. I'd performed on Broadway as solo, but never in a show. So it was like, wow, this is I now know what it's like. It's great. It was really, and I'm
So
kind of
who?
so
Yeah.
it was fun to do, and it was a great group, and the it was
Who did it? Who did it
Kathy
with you?
Kathy Griffin was in it, and she was and myself. There was uh, Alan Zweibel
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I love him.
was in it. The others you wouldn't know because they're theater. If I say the
And,
names, they're great, but you wouldn't know them.
Did you do one celebrity's book, or did you do multiple people? How does
No,
that
I
work?
did I did Sandy, the dog who was the star of Annie, the musical. I did Sandy's autobiography, which has really made me laugh. And then I did Vanna White Speaks.
Oh,
So
Okay.
hers, that was
all
great.
vowels, right? It's all vowels.
Yeah, it was very good. That was fun. I did Joe Namath. The
Oh,
other problem with it slightly is the fact that, and what you really realize is that writing more real stuff. I mean, except for there was two sets that really were transcendent. One is Susan Summers' poems, and the others was
oh, Thigh
the,
Master, oh, Thigh Master. I speak
the,
unto thee.
and the other was Matthew McConaughey's poems.
Oh,
Oh,
okay, Rob.
oh.
Tell Lou about our Matthew McConaughey thing that we remember when we were on the
Do you
road,
know
the
about
green lights.
Matthew McConaughey's motivational book documentary series, whatever it is? He has a whole like
No,
thing where it's called Green Lights, and he's like, and we John and I are obsessed with this. We were watching this his promotionals for his philosophy, which is like, you see in life, I like to look for the green lights. When something gets in your way, I call that a red light, but I like to look for the green lights so you can keep on going. Like I hope I mean to unpack this for you a little bit. I have a PowerPoint to explain it. It's quite complicated.
But yeah, but like, and then he ended up doing like a live, like a telethon with it. But he's clearly really high or on. So I don't know what he's on,
Or Ron
but he's
McConaughey.
not in his right mind. And it's like green light, green light, green light, and it was just like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, it's just, but it's amazing. You should. We're gonna send you a link. You have to
Well, I want
watch
to see
it.
his.
And
no,
Now I'm
dude.
fascinated by his poetry.
His poetry was frightening. I hated reading it. I never said if I'd had the second week, I was going to tell him that I have to be able to say something because we try to just do it. And I found ways toward the last couple of times where I could get my feelings. I just we it's it, I think it's kind of a sin in the eyes of God to read his poetry aloud. That's what
I'm gonna go look for
it's
it.
not right.
Is it a book of poems or is it just online or what is it?
Well, actually, what's funny is I don't know because we only were given the poems, but it's in the book, and the book that we had the front page for was called Green Lights.
There you
No!
go.
Yeah,
Green lights, green lights.
In life, you need a green light. When things are tough, that's a red light, green light, red light. And that was we did this. We just did this at each other for like we were on a writing trip for like 10 days, and we just doing bad
We were
Matthew
in
McConaughey.
Europe, and everybody
Making
was
ourselves
looking at us like confused as why we were saying this. I thought I knew English. What is this? They were saying about green lights.
you're in L.A., Rob.
Yeah, I'm in LA, so fuck that.
So I won't
No,
see you. I won't be
yeah.
seeing
no reason to
I'll
come
never.
here.
It's terrible. I don't know why you're still there. What are you doing to yourself?
You,
Your
you, you,
family's get out, man.
you know,
Well,
some people
why
call
wouldn't he be there? He's got a really great print in his bathroom. Look at that. Huh?
this is not even
Well,
LA. I'm in Atlanta. I'm in my mom's bathroom.
Are
This is
you
like a
really?
can we
40-room
unpack? Okay, this is
smorgasbord.
good to know. Hold on. Your mom's bathroom. Is this your childhood home?
No, it's not. It's like my adulthood second home. I don't know.
So, like, if
But
we like look around the bathroom, will we get some insight into your trauma, your
no,
damage?
because they moved to a different place. So unfortunately, all
Oh.
that stuff is not available. But I think it's great material for my therapist. Like what I learned from my mother's bathroom.
Are there any sanitary products that we should know about? Anything like that? I mean, your mom's older, so I'm sure there's not.
John, as fascinating as I am, I think we've taken quite a bit of Lewis's time, and I wanted to sort of.
I guess Rob didn't. I guess Rob didn't want to get into the sanitary product thing, Lou. I get it.
Yeah,
I respect
you
that.
went there. You went too deep,
Yeah.
literally.
Sorry.
But I wanted to ask. I had two final questions for Lewis, if you would indulge us.
Sure.
One of them is, which is worse, The Road for comics or The Road by Cormac McCarthy?
Wow. Wow. I never could get through it.
Yeah.
And I
Which one?
did the road for stand up. And I never got, I've read like 4 pages. Somebody said read it. And I was like, oh, come the fuck on. I can't.
Yeah.
I never, there's a
James,
few things. That was one of the ones I just went, no,
So
we're done.
depressing. So depressing.
Yeah.
great question, Rob. What's question two?
The other thing I wanted to ask is, do you have any advice for up and coming angry comics?
Uh, I would say, at this point, learn crowd work.
Because those do well on the Instagram and all that.
They're the ones that, that's what sells on the social, that'll help you sell tickets to your show. Apparently people like to be taunted. If you're an angry comic, good fucking luck. You got it. Not until the angry president leaves. All right. Okay. He took your job, you
He
idiot.
took your bit. Yeah, he's doing your shtick now. So
Didn't you say that the Trump administration has basically just been crowd work, sustained crowd work for 4 years?
Yeah, it's pretty close. And you've got Jared Kushner's father there. Wow.
in Paris, yeah, I read about that, and he's apparently pissing everybody off, and like, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
He's, it's not good for the Jews. Not a good look for the Jews. We should send him back. I don't want that. I don't want that Jew here. We need different Jews.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
need you. I want you to be our diplomat in Paris. Let's make that happen.
I'll do what I can. Now that they know I've retired from stand-up.
I think you can
He
reinvent
retired from
yourself.
the road. He didn't retire. He's still going to come to France.
Yeah.
He's going to be the ambassador. Just shut up. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah.
You could have a second chapter in France as Louis Noir.
Louis.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's Louis Noir.
Yeah, look at that, Rob. Your French is really good.
Yeah, we did a Pinot and we called it Louis Noir.
Yeah.
You did a Pinot?
A Pinot
Yeah,
Noir.
we did a Pinot Noir.
You actually made it? Did you actually bottled one, or
no? There was 6 or 7 of us who got together it was we made it to make a wine that we sold for this CFF for cystic fibrosis. So we got together and there was a whole bunch of us and we tasted and tested and we did it for about 2 or 3 years, and each year we would come up with a bunch of bottles.
I thought you were going to say you stomped the grapes because that seems like apropos for you. Like while you're,
I would have liked to know, but these they picked up though. No, God no. Boy, would I like to stomp grapes, especially in the winter. That would be perfect.
Well,
that could be your next special is stomping grapes while you like rant about something. This fucking grape knows what I'm talking about.
All right. Well, Lou, it's so good to see you, and thank you for doing this. And
it's great.
To catch up. And
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, I did it because I wanted to see you. I really wanted to see the two of you, so it's a pleasure.
This is the only way.
You know?
It's really nice to see you, and I'm glad you're not retired. I was like a little worried about that. I'm like, whoa, and I'm glad you're set. All our 18 of our fans are going to know now that you are not retired, and they're going to hire you.
And I'm around, and I'll be doing. I've got a Randcast that I'll still be doing. I'm going to probably do it, but I'm going to do it once a month, and not so much as I was doing it once a week. As a matter of fact, when I finish up, I'll be going to do it here, and I'm just sitting in my fucking apartment alone. It's like sitting in a bomb in I just feel like I'm in a really bad cable access studio by myself, and there's 10 minutes left on the planet. It's psychotic. So I kind of want to
get out.
Sounds good.
Do it more in public. I'll probably do it down at the city winery here, and
that'd be cool.
It'll be fun.
Toilet humor. John and Rob will talk about comedy on the toilet and toilet humor. Toilet humor.
All right, Matthew's making us do this bullshit.
Producer's orders. Ooh.
If you like the video, smash that like button, bro.
Hey, subscribe to the channel. Hit the subscribe button.
Sarcastic voice aside, please join the Patreon and content that show, please.
So can we go back to, making jokes about penises and poop?